Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Standing Orders Review Committee meeting on Monday, the 7th of October 2024 at 6 p.m. First on the agenda, we have item 1, which is the welcome. That's been done. If there is a fire alarm, it's not scheduled, it's not planned, please leave either in the doors behind me or back through the front, which you came. Second item is apologies for absence.
Yeah, we just got Councillor Westby. Yeah,
thank you very much. Next we have item 3, which is the appointment of a committee chairman for acceptance and approval. Is there any nominations for a committee chairman? I don't mind doing it.
I'll nominate Councillor Payne.
Thank you very much. Is there a seconder to that motion, please? I'll take Councillor Wingfield. Thank you very much. And a show of hands, please. That is unanimous. Next, we have item 4, which is the appointment of the committee vice chairman. Is there any nominations, please? Don't all volunteer at once.
I'm going to nominate Councillor Dawn.
yeah.
Councillor Dalton, would you like to accept that nomination? Can I have a seconder to that, please? I'll take Councillor Wingfield again and a show of hands. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dan, don't be afraid to put your hand up. It's just I think he slightly beat you to it. Next, we have declarations of interest. Does anyone have any interests? None. And item 6, the minutes of the Standing Orders Review Committee meeting on the 22nd of April 24. I know we've got a lot of new committee members. I was present, I will vouch for them. Is this a copy here? I'm wondering if Ed was present. No.
No, we weren't. If
I
you
don't
say
think anyone was, but
you
don't have to be present to vote, then you can just take my word.
Yeah,
for it.
that's
so if I
right,
could
yeah.
have a seconder to that motion, please. Councillor Tyler and a show of hands.
Yeah.
It's carried.
Absolutely.
No worries. Next we have item 7, which is public participation. Would you like to participate?
Thank you.
Next we have item 8, which is the grants policy for consideration and resolution. This is the new focus, is this? Okay, so this is following on from the last full council meeting where we discussed the possibility of amending it, well, in addition to the grants policy, to allow for businesses to apply for grant for the frontages and improvements. So before we could consider obviously the details, the specification of those applications, the policy would need to commit that we actually could allow a business in that manner to apply for a grant. I think that is the gist of it, but I will wait for Sharon to return before proposing that we move to a vote, just in case there's anything I've missed.
Chair, can I just ask a question whilst it's something, but I think we discussed at the last meeting in terms of what the impacts of these grants could do, the size of them, particularly when it comes to sponge gears and improvements and working. You probably know better than I do, but has Brecon got something similar in terms of budget for improvements, and should we not align if you're applying to one from Brecon that
So
we can supplement it rather than being
Breckland did
yes,
have a similar grant. It's not open for applications at present. I don't know if that's something that will be revisited. I don't know if you know, Tristan. I don't think it's in the pipeline. I know we're restarting the meanwhile grants, but I think that was a separate thing. But Caroline, on request, has said that she would send a copy of basically like the model, like the application and the terms of it to Sharon, so that there's a bit of a template from us to work from. or to give a bit of an indication as to what their criteria was, if it was something that we would also like to apply. But they don't currently do a model with what we're proposing. They have done, but they don't.
The reason I ask is, again, as mentioned last time, you know, it can provide significant disparity possibly get a bigger bang than something that does a good job, but in 2-3 years time. Just thinking through what's the best use of funds to get a good job done. No, it will take time, not going to do it straight away, but it's the output you want, what the impact is going to be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair comment. I know that at the moment they're not doing anything. I don't think there's any immediate plans to reintroduce, but I know that Caroline has pledged to send over previous models to Sharon for her to review and present. Sharon, this is just an amendment to include the ability for.
Yeah, I mean, I've just written
Businesses.
that tonight because I didn't know whether you wanted me to add anything in but I was going to suggest that we add in, businesses can apply for grant funding for improvements to frontages. Yeah, I can add that in if you want to go.
And then
with
we can look at the criteria to that separately.
Yeah.
Like obviously the amounts and the terms
Yeah.
and conditions of those applications.
Yeah,
So is everyone happy?
Oh, can I just look up Queen's?
Yes.
I should have raised that. With regards to eligibility, talks about charity, voluntary, community organisation. Does that include the CIC?
they tend to be regarded as non-profit making, so I think
Is it
you
worth?
could add it in.
Yeah.
To be
Okay, yeah,
specific. Yeah, okay.
So it's their work. The social enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under that, it's got the group must be able to demonstrate that any funding from the town council will benefit the residents of Attleborough. I wonder whether we could expand that to say we'll have a positive social impact on the residents of Attleborough. Because otherwise, if you say, I just think it reads better if you do that.
A positive social impact on the
Residents.
residents. Do you want me to replace that
Yeah.
sentence? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Councillor Tyler.
Sorry, just on that last point, Tristan, which reads better, don't get me wrong, but it's still a bit ambiguous. I'm just wondering whether we can get ourselves tied up in it or not. It is pretty loose, you know, what was it benefits to residents of Attleborough? How do you measure them?
Councillor Winfield.
Sorry, yeah.
No, just to add to transfer. So having some experience of this, usually we put something along the lines of societal, sustainable, or environmental impact, which might be not specific as you want as you're trying to bring out that the impact to the community needs to be more than just is great. You know, it needs to be something to do with the environment, sustainable, economic, society. They're usually the 3 or 4 that are applied to this particular type of thing.
And I think if you did that, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, we don't want to hem ourselves in too much,
No.
particularly if it's disincentive for people to apply for the grants.
Agreed. I wasn't trying to get national follow maybe. Yeah. But again, like you, when I was at Leicester City Council, I did industrial and commercial improvement areas. But it was passed, but it was set criteria such as if you leave the property within 1 or 2 years, you will pay a percentage back rather than taking the money, giving it up, and off we go. So there's some kind of, and perhaps Brecton's model might tease that out, and perhaps have a discussion with them, but rather than just being here's free money, the same apply for residents as well, or if you leave or you damage or it falls into disrepair within a certain period, you are liable to bring it back to standard.
Yeah,
There's some kind of control, not onerous.
yeah, this is what this is, that, sorry, the part that we're now discussing isn't anything to do with like the business frontages, it's the general policy. So, yeah, so it's, and yeah,
So,
Yeah.
only this, was interviewing by the judges, so the business awards.
Oh.
And there's certain criteria, which is society, impact, community, environment, sustainable.
are you happy with
Yes.
that,
I
that
think
in
that's
addition to the amendment that you,
100%, yeah.
okay, perfect. Any further amendments to the policy as presented? No? Can I have a proposer for those amendments then, please? Councillor Tyra, seconded by Councillor Wingfield, and show of hands, please. That's unanimous, thank you very much.
That was Tristan that, not,
Yeah,
okay.
Kristen, seconded
Yeah.
by Simon, thank you, Sharon. Next we have item 9, which is the vexatious complaints policy for consideration and resolution. Does anyone have any comments on the draft as presented? Karen, is there anything that you'd like to say?
No.
No, it's pretty straightforward. Councillor Darton.
Okay, I just wanted clarification on 7. I think on the last page, it says the complainant will be notified of contact details of the local government ombudsman and invited to contact that office if they wish to take it further. It then says the council will be notified of the census or the important summons. Is that from the ombudsman or is it something that?
So
where it says that we
the
will
council will be notified, is that by you or by the ombudsman?
I think that would be me, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry, yeah.
I think
Do you want me
it's-
to add
I
by
think,
the
yeah,
clerk?
Yeah,
By the
please,
council?
thank you,
Yeah,
Sharon.
that's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
Councillor Ashley.
just on that, I think under the withdrawing of habitual or vexatious status probably fits in with exactly what you said, which is why it's you.
Yeah, okay.
Have we got one of these already? Is this
This is
brand
very,
new? And have we lifted it from an existing?
yes, previous model, yeah,
I think it's
Yeah.
well received because there are situations where you do get that, and we need to empower the office to ensure that it can be dealt with appropriately. I
yeah,
think it's a great addition.
Thank you.
yeah.
Councillor Tyler.
And if I could just add to that, no, it's good to hear that you've had a look at other examples. But I'm just thinking left field, is it worth sharing this with Brecon complaints officers? So it's all tied up. This is what we're going to do. How does it fit with what they do? You'll know far better than I do.
I don't think it
It's-
would.
It's not fun. It's just touching out the.
Just- The only reason I say that is because Brecken's complaints would be complaints around members,
Sure.
whereas I think this is for dealing with members of the public, so not councillors. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
it's different. It is a
but I-
different
but I
complaint
think-
process, yeah,
they probably have a similar policy that we could,
yeah,
look at when we next come to review this, and if we feel that there's any good parts that we could maybe put into our practice, I think that would
Yeah.
probably
yes, it will
be
be
worthwhile.
periodically reviewed as well.
Yeah. So, well then, can I please have a proposer and a seconder? Councillor Tyra, seconded by Councillor Bircham, for the acceptance of this policy and a show of hands for approval.
Yeah,
That is unanimous. Thank you very much.
I was gonna say, is there a review of all these policies reviewed annually by?
Yeah, I've got a review schedule
Great,
for
yeah.
everything, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Second public participation? Yes.
Just running on back to the grant, what Councillor Pryor was saying about new businesses or businesses applying for assistance. Before that is actually put into we haven't specified how they're going to, and I know they're adding in, I think you haven't tried to word this. Is that's not accepted as a part of the grant procedure yet, is there? Because you haven't actually
Got set the terms.
set anything. I think like council are a bit concerned that you'll get repeat offenders that go from.
Yeah, so the intention would be that the policy would permit now applications from businesses. Applications would still come before the council, but we were looking to or considering a specific grant that would run for potentially 3 months of the year, where businesses could make an application for a match funded amount to be confirmed to put towards the refurbishment or refresh of their exterior of their premises. So the high street like shop frontages. So it would be like a one-off grant that would be match funded, that and all of that would be in the T's and C's of that application. So
if a person was sort of shop hopping.
Yeah.
Which seems to be happening a little bit. That they would get.
well, every application. So any of the conditions, if you like, would be included in the application process. So when they made their application and filled it in, it'd be very clear what criteria had to be met and what the terms of the grant were. And at that point, once a application was made, it would either go to the full council or the general purpose and finance committee, and then members would make a considered decision on each application on its own merits. So if someone had made an application, and it could well be that when they look at the criteria, that is something that's included, is that if you've had a grant in the last 12, 18, 24 months, then you wouldn't qualify.
Would be specified person as well.
Yeah,
Rather than specific
premises. Yeah, so but it could also be that if members at the point of receiving the application see that it was a repeated application, they might say, well, actually we granted in this 12 months ago, we wouldn't want to make the donation or the contribution on this occasion. So but I'm sure when Sharon comes to drafting the T's and C's, that will go into her consideration. Thank you very much, Leslie. Is that everything?
I think so.
Perfect. Well, then in that case, I will declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much, everybody. We've got 10 minutes till planning.